She responded she wasn't, explaining she's had adverse reactions to vaccines in the past and that a doctor had advised her against getting inoculated against the coronavirus, saying it poses a risk. The judge responds by stripping her of all her custody rights, takes her son.
Whoa! What's up, fam? Swipe Minds, and I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. And in today's video, we're reacting to Breaking Point's take on a mother being removed from custody because she didn't have the vaccine.
There's another insane story we wanted to tell you about. This really pissed me off yesterday. This mom, her name is Rebecca Furlet.
You can tell, I swear, this woman is a soccer mom and will yell if her kids do not play enough.
In Chicago, she has joint custody or had joint custody of her 11-year-old son with her ex-husband. And she joined this Zoom call, which was just supposed to be about like child support and normal sort of issues that you have between former spouses and managing their arrangement with their children. The judge starts off the proceeding by asking her whether or not she's vaccinated. She responded she wasn't, explaining she's had adverse reactions to vaccines in the past and that a doctor had advised her against getting inoculated against the coronavirus, saying it poses a risk. The judge responds by stripping her of all her custody rights, takes her son.
Wow.
What?
That's a very steep, cutoff point. Like, you're not vaccinated, you're not getting
losing your kids. That's insane. That is insane.
We're not even going to consider, what's a good, healthy environment for the kid, which parents, actually capable of raising the kid, maybe financially capable, who's paying the child support, what area is the kid going to live in, what parent does the kid get along with better to, actually, grow and develop in a better manner, hopefully, as long as, that parent isn't just obviously terrible for them.
Yeah. And not only that, it also comes down to, whether or not I agree if you should get the vaccine, it's everyone's right to choose whether or not to get it. I kind of feel like you shouldn't be forcing people to get it and restricting their rights as people for not getting the vaccine. Ultimately, that's freedom of choice.
The crazy thing is, though, it even says in the article that she has had bad reactions to vaccines in the past.
Yes, exactly.
So she has a health reason for not even doing it, and that's not even taken into consideration here.
Yeah.
That just goes to show our justice system how just it really is.
It's true.
To take the child away from their mother, this is completely bananas. And if there are any other extenuating circumstances or something, listen, I leave it open that that is the case. This was really the only issue. Okay, he starts the hearing by saying, hey, are you vaccinated? She says no, and he takes her kid. COVID is one factor, and kid safety around the coronavirus is one factor to be weighed in, but there are a lot of things that go into the well-being of a child. The number of people I saw celebrating this online, like this was a good thing, this is psychotic.
People were actually celebrating this? That's crazy, that just really goes to show how much manipulation and, brainwash goes into this to only hear such a small thing and only be oh wow, this person doesn't agree with me. Fuck them and their kids.
These Occupy Democrats people sent out this tweet saying, breaking, a judge revokes a Chicago mom's custody of her 11-year-old son after she admits she's unvaccinated. The dad is vaccinated and will retain custody until she is. Retweet if you support the judge's decision to put the child's safety before her mom's dangerous ignorance. This had thousands and thousands of retweets of people who consider themselves to be liberal or progressive agreeing that this kid should be taken away from the mom for no other.
They really went to the liberals. What'd they ever do? Goddamn, just let them be. Liberal or Republican, why did that matter for this?
Yeah.
I hate it when people bring politics into a situation that isn't even about politics.
Also, look, in terms of children, we've covered this ad nauseum in terms of the Delta variant, is that Delta is in no way more deadly or dangerous to children than the original COVID. And so we already know that children, by and large, are not at risk of serious illness or death from this disease. The father did not bring this issue before the court.
Right.
The father of this child was not like, she's not vaccinated, you need to give me this child. The judge unilaterally decided that he, as a condition of custody, was going to make this decision on behalf of the state to strip this woman of her custody rights over her own kid. And actually, I didn't know this, so thank you, for the reporting here, which is that there are now similar things going on.
Now that they say, put it like that, it makes sense why she brought politics into it earlier. Because basically he's a person making the decision on behalf of the state, and based off his political leanings could influence his decision in this case, even though it's extreme for a judge to blatantly do it that way.
In the U.S. court system. So here's what we have in terms of the roundup. 2 judges in Ohio have ordered that some people receive the vaccine as a condition of their probation. Similarly, 2 Georgia judges are reducing sentences for offenders who get the vaccine. I guess that's, one way to handle it.
Hold up. Your only condition, fucking get your sentence shortened, is to get the vaccine. The whole point of getting your sentence shortened is just to show that you showed extreme reform. That's the whole point of the system. I'm not saying the prison system's good as it is for reforming people, and some people are in there for reasons that they shouldn't be. But if you're shortening prison sentences just because you get a vaccine, you're showing how even worse the prison system is in itself.
In New York, judges in the Bronx and Manhattan have actually ordered defendants to get a vaccine as part of their rehabilitation and as part of a condition for seeking bail, respectively. This is where I just start to lose it because, look, both of us are vaccinated. We did a whole diatribe yesterday about why you should get vaccinated, about why even if you are a young person, that overall in the societal aggregate, it will decrease your chance of getting COVID. And yes, I know, I did get COVID.
I was around you a lot, and I did not get COVID.
That's correct.
Nobody in my family did. The vaccine worked, guys.
There you go. So,
I really hate that misconception that people have, and that's kind of what they're illustrating there is the vaccine isn't foolproof, but it's supposed to give you better chances at responding to the virus itself.
We cannot reduce this to state mandates, especially through the court system.
It would not be shocking to see this start to be a pattern across the country, and we cannot. That's a horrific direction to go in. It fits in with, the same attitude of you shouldn't get health care. If you're unvaccinated, you should be denied health care if you're unvaccinated. This is bananas.
How many times has she said this is bananas? It's the entire video.
Yeah. You know what's more bananas? Is that you've made it this far in the video and you haven't liked and subscribed yet.
Chickenpox.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these stuff. Actually, a kid in my class when I was 5 years old died from chickenpox, it was horrible. I still remember him.
Jesus,
all of
that's
it.
awful.
There was some other, usual, there was some other stuff going on. Had pneumonia at the same time, healthcare system, that's a whole
You're gonna take kids away from their parents because mom doesn't get the flu shot?
Yeah.
Really?
That's actually, in terms of the deadliness and
in
terms of transmission and more, the same argument could be made around that. And as a society, I think we should recognize that is we should completely reject that thinking. And just to give you an idea, even Australia is beginning to back off. They say they're going to end their COVID zero policy. Quote, it's not a sustainable way to live. I do think it is interesting, though, that they have to come out and say, okay, fine, guys, we're not going to try and do zero COVID. And that's how it should be. And just to stick with.
Okay. I don't like how he's trying to say, this is how it should be. I feel like that's not fair for a person that's not living in the country and doesn't understand the country's circumstances to be able to say, oh, this is every country should have a COVID policy, because what if they're actually doing well on people responding to COVID? What if their COVID situation is damn near 0%? Also, what if their economy can't sustain that and they actually need to help the people in the country itself?
That's what I was gonna say. Is the hard part is how countries are supposed to sustain their economies when they go into these kind of COVID restrictions, and that's ultimately what I think is, I hate to say it, the driving thing that pulls them out of those COVID restrictions is having to get their economy back on track, or else the whole country is going to fail. So ultimately we need to figure out a way to manage money and COVID basically at the same time.
With this, I saw one of the most insane things yesterday from a teachers union representative, Cecilia Mayart Cruz. She was saying that learning loss is a myth. Quote, "It's okay our babies may not have learned all their times tables. They know the difference between a riot and a protest, and they know the words insurrection and coup." We need to stop, as you said, Crystal, minimizing what it really means to have a loss of institutionalized schooling for well over a year.
Yeah.
This is insanity. And, look, and I'm not trying to go after the teachers unions or whatever here, although I think some of them have been very bad actors.
I have to disagree with that too. Like, I understand why it's bad for children to not get as well of an education now than it is later. But at the same time, if it's not safe for the kids, any health damage that they get is gonna be with them for their life.
Yeah.
Whereas you can learn stuff a little bit later on in life. Yeah, it's gonna suck and might put you a little bit behind, but it's better than having something that's not repairable happen to you because of something that wasn't just handled properly.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bigger conversation to be had in this country about schooling, about the way we go about it, about whether our kids are really getting what they need, especially in the modern economy, to prepare them for success, or whether they're just being, created like a sheep mentality created in our children. And I am up for that whole conversation. But just to casually be like, actually, school, nah, we don't really need it, that's pretty radical.
No,
I'm glad she said it and I didn't have to say it. I was really going to tear into the whole well, school might not be teaching you the right thing, but she said everything perfectly. So, that's a topic for a whole nother day.
Pretty radical place to stand.
We need school. Like, now you're one of those anarcho-libertarians who's going to do what is that thing called, like unschooling, where you don't actually teach your kids and whatever.
You just let them live. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have that conversation another day because I may have some relatively.
Wait, that's a thing? You could have not gone to school as a kid?
You know how much World of Warcraft I would have played? It's a good thing I went, okay?
Kids being at school allow parents to live their lives, allow them to work, allow them to provide for the family so that when the kids are at home, they can be with them and have time and resources to be able to spend with them and nourish them and help them grow. That is the way our society is structured. Also, that stability that is provided in that routine of going there every day, the social development, being with your friends, all of these things, even if you think that the education part of it is not that important, which I would definitely dispute, all of those things are really, really important, especially for kids who come from backgrounds that are a bit more challenged. So anyway, going forward, as I am praying that my own school district stays open in spite of the fact that they've already had a few coronavirus cases crop up, I hope that we will continue to weigh the cost of closing these schools down as much as we weighed, the risks of infection from coronavirus, because some of this calculus has been completely insane.
You know what's another thing too that I don't know why it hasn't been considered is why not just adjust the curriculum to maybe make it know less things in the curriculum that are relevant for them going to future courses. Like in science, how many times do we learn about rocks? I don't think after middle school you need to know what a sedimentary rock is in any of your classes. I think they very easily could cut down or maybe remove like an elective course.
Teach us how to do taxes.
Teach us how to, teach us how to do adult things.
If you guys enjoyed this video, do us a favor, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and make sure you guys subscribe to see more of our content. See you guys later.
Peace.